about like your martial arts journey.
Okay.
So the first one is, how did you get into martial arts?
Oh God. When I was 14, my parents sent me off to a martial arts class. It was karate, 1974, under Butch White, Alan Butch White, and it was quite an interesting first class because my best supposedly my best mate took me. Massive guy, remain nameless, and we went in, and it was 20 minutes before the class started, and there was black belts floating about, and he decided to say, "Come on, put some gloves on, and let's do a bit of sparring." And he knocked 7 sorts out of me all over the floor.
In the first lesson.
First lesson, yeah, that was before the class started. And then a woman, I got a bloody nose, a split lip, and then suddenly a woman come over who I later learned was third Dan, and she was a monster. And she said, "Right, mate, do that to me," and she destroyed him. Never saw him again. And I was hooked from then on in. I was obviously smashed up that night, but I remember thinking, wow, this is what karate can do. So that's how I started my journey.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
And could you tell me a little bit more about like what martial arts you did?
Yeah, I did karate for many, many years under Alan Butch White in Kidderminster, who is a terrific karate instructor, absolutely phenomenal bloke, very tough, fought internationally, very scary guy. And then after, I think it was about 20 years, I looked at other things, because there's always other things popping up. Obviously the Bruce Lee film thing was out and rampant in the 1970s. Everybody was talking Bruce Lee with Enter the Dragon. And then I suddenly thought, what's this JKD? What's the grappling? What's going on? So I went down to London to train in Larry Hartzell, and I met some incredible people like Bobby Breen, Rick Young, etc., Gary Derrick, Gordon McAdam. And then suddenly I was off on that journey, continued my karate, and then sort of really got into and enjoyed Jeet Kune, doing seminars under Guru Dan, who I later became an instructor under for, I think I was about 8 years, trained him for many years, but became an apprentice instructor under him for about 8 years, and then evolved obviously in lots of different martial arts then. Do you need me to speak about those?
Go for it.
Okay, Keysi fighting method, combat submission wrestling with Eric Paulson, who's fantastic as well. Many, many great people. Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu with Mauricio Gomez. Thai boxing with Master Toddy.
Was that your last one?
The last one was Keysi fighting method, which I did many, many years. I became a UK ambassador in that. But the Thai boxing was with Master Toddy. Very, very, very tough training in Manchester on instructor courses with Ronnie Green, oh my God, Pele Nathan, Anne Holmes, Lisa Howard, some incredible people, many I could mention. And tough training, and so quite a variety of martial arts.
Yeah. So the other day when we were in class, you mentioned your shift from JKD to Keysi, because you were working your way up, weren't you, through JKD?
That's
and
right.
Switched.
Well, I've always understood that sentence, you know, you can't chase 2 rabbits. You've got to really focus on something properly. Now, I'd done karate for many years, done JKD for many years, and I thought it was only fair. I really got hooked into Keysi fighting method under Husto, and saw it was devastating. It was multi-opponent martial art, and I'd never really seen that a great deal in many things I'd seen and trained in. And I had I was quite nervous. I went to speak to Guru down in London, and I said, "Sorry, Guru, I'm going to go a different path." And he was fantastic. And I went that route into Keysi fighting method to give all of my energy to it, because I felt as an apprentice under Guru Dan, I had to train there twice in America every year, and then do the Keysi, and that was very international as well. I couldn't do the two. Yeah. So I pulled away and went into Keysi fighting method, very, very heavy. And that's what happened there.
Yeah, nice. What's the best martial art?
You hear that so many times in martial arts. I would answer that with, there's no best martial arts, there just is a martial art that really should suit you. So if you're quite a stocky person, maybe judo is a great thing, in some respects boxing. There's some incredible martial arts out there. There's no best, nothing has a monopoly on everything, although many people say they do. They don't have a monopoly. It's all about go in, find out what's good for you, enjoy it, and and have a great time doing that particular martial art. If something doesn't work for you, I would say come out of it and go somewhere else. But recommendations pretty well the best way. But there are so many martial arts out there that'll give you great punching, great kicking, but you have to say what's practical and what's practical for you. I mean, and also depending what you want from it, if it's just self-defense, or that's easy for me to say, just self-defense, but if it's just fitness, then there's certain things better suited to that. But there's no best martial art, I don't believe, although a lot claim it. I think a lot have got pluses and minuses, but it's good to get to a level. I think at least you need a minimum of 7 years in a martial art before you start broadening out and looking at other things. I do believe anyway, but I can't say Thai boxing is better than karate, karate is better than taekwondo. It doesn't work like that. It's the individual very often.
What would you choose as your favourite?
My favourite. I can't do that because I'd offend so many people. But no, but there's so much enjoyment from great karate, from great JKD, from combat submission wrestling with Eric. You're having a fantastic time with Mauricio Gomez on the mat. The Thai boxing. There's such a buzz from all of them, so I can't really answer that. It's a difficult one, really.
Couldn't pick just one. Okay then. So, is there ever been a time where you've had to draw on everything that you've ever learned from all aspects?
You mean in a street encounter, or do you mean from coaching it?
Either. Start maybe with the street.
From the street, really, I've only had very few encounters. Like most, I would suggest good martial arts instructors, I would say they prefer not to fight. I'm one of them.
Yeah.
And you don't want to, kick somebody or punch somebody so hard they fall over and crack their head on the concrete and they're a fatality. You don't want to fight. Having said that, like my good friend Rick Young says, you train all your life for like a 10 or 30-second fight. So to answer that, just in the moment, really, I learnt a lot from Jeff Thompson's, when you read his books about defense and about bringing people down from a red light to a green light in an encounter, when certain people want to smash your face in for whatever reason they've got stood in front of you, they've mistaken identity or whatever. And that's just bringing in all of everything you've got, the positioning, if it's going to kick off, so your right hand's ready to go, your elbow's ready to go, your cover's ready to go. So I would say all of your martial arts, and all of your martial arts give you an awareness, give you a almost a heightened sense of reality of what's going on when there's an encounter kicking off. Like there was a big thing in a pub in Cornwall many years ago. I had nobody with me, I was just on my own, funny enough. Friends had gone back to the hotel, and it all kicked off in this pub. There were chairs, glasses flying, and it was a proper men smashing each other up, and it was proper macho. I just walked out the door. I weren't there to save anybody, I didn't know anybody. I thought, I want to see my children tomorrow. I don't want to glass over the head or start getting into a fight that's you don't need to get into. And that's the best form of self-defense I would preach anyway. So in that respect, you call on everything you've got with your experience, Having said that, I did Kung Fu for a short while, and a very small amount of time. And they taught a certain type of back kick, and then lo and behold, I was attacked, and a back kick, bang, did the job immediately the next week.
So just what you had in the moment?
Yeah, exactly.
Is there a move that you swear by that works every time?
Not really, but I would suggest if anybody's coming forward with that question for themselves about what they would use, because everything's different, isn't it? If someone sat next to you, you're not going to be able to throw your knockout punch. So it's probably going to be an elbow, it's a hammer. But a move that's unique to yourself, it's very difficult because you mold to the situation, you mold to, I'm sounding like JKD now, aren't I? But you mold to the situation massively. That's so important. And just make sure, in my opinion, with all the years training I've done, that you've got a good punch, a good kick, a good knee, and a good elbow, a good head. And an understanding of distance and positioning and what's best in that moment, because we know this from experience. You go and throw somebody on the floor, which I wouldn't do personally, but you throw somebody on the floor and then 2 or 3 people come around the corner, his friends or whatever, if you're in the middle of a fight, and then they'll jump on you and destroy you. So certain things to certain situations. So no, there's no answer, but I have, same as most martial artists, or I would suggest, are a level, have things in their weaponry, they have things in their arsenal that they can bring to the fore.
Going back to then, like, to your training, is there a standout moment that's kind of stayed with you throughout your whole journey, when you were maybe learning, or situational words that people have said to you? Is there like one that resonates with you?
Wow, I could write a book actually, but I'll just try and give you 2 or 3. Beautiful compliments from Guru Dan in seminars down in London at Bobby Breen's at Finsbury Leisure Centre, when he said certain things about the way I was moving and stuff, which I'll take to the grave. Beautiful things he said about, well, that's a Thai boxing, that's a Thai kick, and great movement, Rob. And Larry Hartle said some wonderful things to me over the years, which are quite personal. He's passed on now, obviously. And just great things there. Situations, well, I've done 20 odd years karate. I class myself as pretty damn fit. I went to train Thai boxing with Master Toddy with Gordon McAdam, and it was a 4 to 6 hour session on the Saturday and on the Sunday. And on the Saturday, I'm not knocking karate in any way, shape or form. I thought I was fit as hell, but we were smashing heavy bags, sparring, doing technique all day. And I went to the washroom to take some water out the tap, and I couldn't turn the tap. I had no energy whatsoever. And I had to ask somebody right next to me, it was Ronnie Green, I think, 4 times world Thai champion. I said, excuse me, could you turn that tap, because I can't physically turn it. So that was the stand-up moment. I was thinking, oh, I'm quite fit. I went in there and I was destroyed. But then again, you know, I mean, you could take some Thai boxers and give them a 4 to 6 hour session in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, or a session with maybe Rick Young up in Edinburgh in judo, and they would be destroyed. So it's horses for courses. I'm not knocking what I'd had already for many years, but so those are some standout moments.
What would you say then is your greatest coaching achievement?
Oh my God, I feel quite humble in that I've been under some incredible coaches over the years, and really just to emulate the coaching that people like Guru Dan Santo, Master Toddy, Mauricio Gomez, Butch White, etc., have shown me that I can pass on and be showing martial arts and changing people's lives the way they did, really, to me. So really, coaching achievement. Well, I was quite humbled by the police, you know. I taught them Keysi fighting method. The Staffordshire police, 4 guys came down continually to train with me in Keysi fighting method for many, many years. And I was quite humbled by them and what they said about the training and stuff. But just nice, you know, when you get a class or you teach a seminar, and I've taught abroad quite a bit. It's just nice to see that people enjoy what you coach. So in general, just watching hundreds and hundreds of people over the years come through, achieve a certain level, you know, they go on, they do other things, and just nice to know you got them to a good level in training and fitness, and a good ideal about staying fit and healthy.
And then my last question then is, how did you kind of shift from your training and coaching into film work?
Oh, okay. Well, I met Jo McLaren many years ago. She's an incredible person, and she invited me. She's a stunt coordinator now. She was a stunt woman right then. This was many years ago, and she pulled me into a BBC One series called Hunted, and and then the journey's carried on. Then I met some incredible people with her and through her going on, you know, all these various people have pulled me into film projects, and it's just gone on to incredible things. And so that was it, really. So my thanks is to Jo McLaren, really, for pulling me into film work, and I'm sure we'll speak about that in the future. But yeah, that was very exciting, and I'm enjoying that to this day.
Yeah. Well, that's all. Thank you, Rob. Thank you for your time.
Thanks, Al.